all about strategy, though. I had to download it on my phone to play the game to figure it out, and it took me a little bit. Math is not my
But now,
thing,
you're saying the African slaves who came here, who brought the rice, who lived here on plantations, also brought a game with them that is pretty much a mind challenge.
Yes, it's all about strategy, and you have to be able, like, it's counting, and then it's thinking ahead, and it actually originated first, they think it's Egypt, and then it moved to Africa.
Okay, and why did you put this in to a project that's about what we eat?
Well, because it's all connected, because the people who grew the rice, their background, this was part of their background.
Yes.
It's what they brought from Africa, along with the ability to grow rice and the skill, talent, work, and some of the rice, actually. They brought games with them as well.
And you also have one of these little drums.
Yes,
and I've seen this, and you have these gorgeous children who are playing the drums, and that's an African drum, and I don't know the exact name of it, but certainly this is something that children from that part of the world, were able to use to give themselves an opportunity to rest and relax from a long day's work, is the way that I think I'd like to put it.
That's part of it as well. This was an article by Adam Parker at the Post and Courier, and this is actually about Ghana, but it still relates because Charleston and West Africa have a connection from the 1700s is when the most documentation is, which is what this program is based on. And this is a miniature African, it's spelled D-J-E-M-B-E, but it's pronounced Djembe, and the tribes would communicate with each other using drums like these, but they were also a part of village life. Celebration, funerals, anything.
So what's interesting about this project, the Traveling Trunk, is, and you know, after I turned it loose to you, because I've done a number of these and other work that I've done, but you really jumped in there and took charge, and it's more rounded, I think, because you've got the rice, the staple that we all eat. We now know where it comes from. But you wanted the children that are learning all of this and participating in the Traveling Trunk program to learn a little bit more about the children in Africa.
About the people.
And
it's all
the
about people.
Yeah. And the Traveling Trunk goes into the schools. The teacher has an opportunity to utilize the trunk, and how does she or he get it?
Well, there's a schedule that I work with Barbara Harefield, the social studies curriculum person, and we coordinate with the couriers, these lovely men who go around and pick up stuff and deliver stuff for Charleston County School District. So it's a set schedule. At the beginning of the year, it gets sent out. If the teachers want to be removed or added or shuffled, we do that, and then the trunk goes. And once it goes, it doesn't stop until April or May.
Wow, that's great. And you know, there are others who are interested in what we're doing. As you mentioned earlier, Berkeley County schools may get involved, and we've also had calls from Georgetown County folks there who are wanting to get involved. Of course, now Georgetown, they are the rice capital.
That's the title rice.
Yes, different kind of rice.
Kind of.
But that's an interesting thing there too, because I've ridden through the rice fields on
They have a very rich history of
Yes, they do. And so
rice.
it's going to be interesting to see how this spreads, and hopefully it'll spread like wildfire, and there will be other schools who get involved. So there you have it, our program on the Transportation Sales Tax Program. Jamie, thank you for being a part.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed talking with you.
I did too.
And we're going to bring you other programs like this because we want you to know that the Transportation Sales Tax Program is well-rounded in what we do. It's educational, and it's about the hard stuff too, the roads and bridges and intersections and all of the wonderful things that are being built by your sales tax dollar. Until next time, this has been the Transportation Sales Tax Program, also known as Roadwise. I'm Cheryl Harleston.
The historical and cultural foundations of the nation should be preserved as a living part of our community life and development in order to give a sense of orientation to the American people. So states a section of the National Historic Preservation Act of 1966. To that end, it is paramount to preserve the richness of the Lowcountry. Charleston County needed to expand the Palmetto Commerce Parkway to relieve traffic congestion along Dorchester Road and I-26, which run parallel to the parkway. But first, an archaeological survey had to be conducted.
When we conducted the survey, we walked through the swamps that are all around us here, and we quickly encountered several banks and canals and ditches that led us to believe right away that they were parts of inland rice fields.
In fact, all of the former plantations through which the Palmetto Commerce Parkway passes grew inland rice throughout the 18th century that were developed and maintained by enslaved Africans.
Due to this mitigation project, we were able to cut into the banks to study the internal composition of them, the way they were built and constructed. So we're actually learning about the technology involved in the building of these embankments.
Charleston County worked with the South Carolina Department of Archives and History to develop a plan to document and protect these important historical features.
To further educate the local community about the importance of rice and the enslaved Africans whose struggles made it possible, Charleston County has developed a traveling trunk program. The Inland Rice Fields Traveling Trunk Program is an interactive, hands-on educational tool geared towards elementary and middle school students. The program includes lesson plans, classroom activities, replica artifacts, and historical items.
I think Charleston County School District has long been aware of the connection between Charleston and the west coast of Africa, also known as the Rice Coast, as a key part of our local history and the development of the Carolina colony.
I think that our children need to know more about the history of the country. They need to know more of the history of why over 250,000 people were enslaved and brought here and what they did. And the more children understand about the history, the better they're going to become as people.
I think it's pretty cool because it brings things from the 1700s. I think that's cool.
I think it's fantastic because we get to learn about things in the past that other people didn't know about.
I think it's kind of cool because it's kind of showing us stuff from the past.
I want to see this again because I have a feeling that if everybody else sees it, that they'll learn a lot.
If you want to talk about rice production in South Carolina Lowcountry, and you have a traveling trunk with items in that trunk that boys and girls can actually look at and feel and smell and listen to and play with, then that's the beginning of concrete, basic understandings that can be developed into abstracts.
Students learn about the plantation economy and the contribution of enslaved African individuals who were brought to this country and ultimately helped develop our economy and helped teach people about how to cultivate rice, how to make rice a lucrative product, and ultimately really contributed to the local development of this area. So we think that puts a lot of pride and self-esteem in our students when they know that their ancestors were part of the beginning of this wonderful area that we live in.
Thank you, Charles.